Start off. Welcome to Batting with Hirschy. This is Paul Walker, and I've known Paul for a fair while. A very good cricketer and professional footballer, and has an agency in the north of England. Which covers whereabouts? Or Scotland, England?
Part of Scotland, northeast of England, anywhere down the Midlands, really.
Right. So, if people are looking forward to come over to play cricket, there's a few problems now, though, Paul, isn't there, with visas?
The problem is that the UK Border Authority trying to say anybody who's played under 19s, even though it's only one game, doesn't matter how long ago, that they can't come across on what they say a standard visitors visa.
Right.
But for the young Australians, New Zealand lads, they can come across on a youth mobility visa,
Right.
which obviously legally allows them to work.
What about the Indians?
The Indians, that's a huge problem for them because a lot of them have played under 19 sort of 9 or 10 years ago, and they haven't even had a sniff since, and they can't even come in.
Right,
And obviously lads who play sort of what you call A-grade cricket, they're saying anybody they're not going to get a sniff at first class. They've sort of embargoed them that they can't come in.
So visas are very difficult.
Visa, it's quite difficult. A lot of clubs have changed to the Tier 5 visa, which is the full first class, which is obviously they've shifted the bar a little bit.
Right. So if they wanted to come, they'd actually have to have a visa before you'd even look at them. Is that right?
No, not really, because it depends which country, because you've got to have an invitation letter from a club, really, if you're on a standard visitors visa. But the youth mobility visa lads, is they can find clubs, and we find clubs quite easy for them, and they're doing very well, the young Australians that's over here.
But I just find, like, I get probably 5 a week, if not 10, wanting to play cricket, and I'm just saying, I'm only a coach. I'm not an agent like yourself. I can't help them. But it's sort of, I don't want to give them false hope, but I don't want them to be a pain in the neck and bothering us all the time because I can't help them.
But from sort of Australia, New Zealand, a lot of clubs are looking for that because they can legally work.
That's right.
Which saves obviously the club. The club can't finance them anyhow because they're not allowed to work for the club.
Right.
But actually, the standard of cricket that they're playing is quite good, and they really enjoy it.
Now, is there any chance of that visa changing next year, do you think?
I've heard that the ECB, they are trying to put a little bit of pressure on the UK Border Authority to relax their rules, to put some sort of maybe time frame on the last time they played under 19s or things like that, or Western Australian B, or what is it, Queensland B, that they can come across. So it's going to be I think it's quite hard, but I think they are trying.
Right, yeah. So just there, and most of your boys doing all right this year?
Yeah, the young Aussies that's over, they're doing very well. They're getting well received in the club, and they've had a little bit of banter after the sandpaper effect. So they're taking a little bit of stick because of that. Even one of the lads who's in the northeast actually turned up with a bit of sandpaper. He said, "Lads, if you want a bit of hand, there's some sandpaper for you."
Yeah, all right. Because I think what I found, Paul, is with English players going to Australia, as long as people try, clubs are really happy. And everyone makes a duck, but if your attitude's right and help with the training, the juniors, you're sort of halfway there, aren't you?
I mean, all the young Australian lads who's over this year, I mean, the club love them a bit. They've really joined into the culture of the club and looking after the kids and chipping in around the ground, doing a little bit of the donkey work and the layman's work.
So just there. So, and what about your club? How are they going?
Doing quite well till yesterday. Actually, we took a nosedive yesterday. But it's a tough league, the North East Premier, so there's no shy lads getting nothing.
Now, you're running a side here today?
Headlines under 11s against Durham, and we're not doing very well, actually.
Oh, right. So you're coaching or something?
It's my coaching, probably.
You got a boy there?
I've got one boy there.
Oh, right. So is he a batter or bowler?
He'll bowl and tries to whack it a bit.
Oh, right. That's good. That's a big thing now with 2020. So thanks for your time, Paul. And again, if anyone's next year's looking, you can drop me a line or Paul a line and then see how we go from there. But you generally have more jobs than players, is that right?
That's right. I mean, a lot of clubs are looking for the way around the visa situation, which is youth mobility lads from obviously that side of the world.
Right, yeah. Well, thanks very much. I think the other thing, Paul, is there a market? Sometimes I get boys that want to come. They're nice lads, but they're probably not good enough to be pros. Can they still come and play as
They can come across. There's plenty of clubs who will look after the young Australians, even if they're not playing the highest standard in Australia. There's plenty of opportunities.
As long as they're decent blokes. That's
the bloke is the key thing there.
And I think the other thing, Paul, it's what boys don't realise is when you're living in someone's house, it's making your bed, cleaning up, and then people are so generous where if you just don't carry your weight. It's, no one wants to live with.
We just say, would you do it in your own house? If you wouldn't do it in your own house back home, why should you do it in somebody else's? And it's a two-way thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Paul.
All right.
And, all the best today.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.